Hey guys, how is everyone doing? So, welcome to the second segment of the XRP video. Now, as you can see, there is an alarm going off right now. That is my Kraken alert, letting me know that XRP is closely approaching that 50 cents region. So the alert system came in handy there because I wasn't actually at my desk. I've just quickly ran over to have a little look at the charts. So as you may have realized in the last video, I didn't actually liquidate the entire position. So what you're seeing here right now is what I'm currently looking at for BTC to start hopefully taking out the final positions and then just waiting for a potential pullback in the market. So the trend line's been broken. Very important to note, this trend line has been pierced on the 1 hour. We've got 20 minutes left till it closes, but it has broken there as well. And obviously if you go from the wick through to the bodies, we've very clearly pierced that and absolutely destroyed it. So no matter how you draw it, the trend line has been broken, so we'll just draw it like that. Break, retest, boom. We've got a channel forming quite nicely here as well now, which you'll be seeing much more clearly on Wednesday. If this video is not posted by then, the next lesson is all about trend identification for cryptocurrency. So I'm applying a bit of that into practice right now. So we'll go over the markets quickly as well. This is the BTC chart on the 4 hour flipped. This is the inverse chart. The chart is upside down. There'll be an entire lesson coming on this in the future in the free online course as well. But for now, what we're looking at, let's just go to all the levels I've got marked out. So we've got all kinds of different channels that have been drawn. We've got the trend here. I could even draw that from there, to be fair, because it works pretty well. The trend line has technically been broken. And although we haven't necessarily broken that low just yet, there is a nice Fibonacci retracement here as well. So I am waiting to see if this actually does hold or reverse. Because obviously, if this 78.6 fib does maintain and we do end up dropping down towards the $16,800 region, we have technically wiped out that intraday or intraday low. So if we do wipe out that low, that would be further confirmation of a trend reversal potentially happening. So we're going to sit patient for now, but in the meantime, I want to watch out for wick fishing. And wick fishing, I mean a retest of this trend line and a retest of this trend line here. That can even be slightly refined to around there. So I'm looking at around anywhere from around $9,250 up to around 9,596 as a potential large region for a lot of wick activity. If we're looking from the inverse chart right now, you can see this could push down towards 9,400. We've got that level there, but I'm actually not too confident just yet that $20,000 will be met for BTC. So if we go to the weekly, for Ether, we can see the same sort of trend line formed here. We've actually maintained now. So I have a feeling that everything this week is going to be very early wick fishing. We have a 78.6 up there. We've broken the 61.8. So Ether may very well actually be able to achieve that $675 region and still potentially close lower. So if I go back to the daily on BTC, that for me, if the chart is inverse as you can see now, that would look incredibly bullish to me. This would actually be a buying opportunity, but I would still take into consideration any potential downside. If we flip the chart over, you can see we've seen a nice spike down. We're now just coming around and testing this area, because once you go to the weekly, applying that same trend line that you just saw on Ether on the weekly, we're seeing the exact same thing now on BTC. Every time we've tapped this was the swing, we've swung again, we went lower, now we're at this same level again. So from a weekly perspective, anything could happen. And as I've said before, the monthly candle, we need to wait 7 days and 13 hours for that monthly candle to close, because if it closes back below here, everything changes, and that could all happen in a week. We have the CME futures contracts also expiring on Friday, and they are historically known to cause a dump in the market. So even though the approximate dump is only around 2.5%, it's normally a warning sign and a catalyst of something to follow. So we are monitoring this. XRP is something I'm paying attention to right now. I just want to wait and see. If it first taps this level, I'll probably sell like 25%, but ideally I want to wait for around 53 cents, because if we can get most of it out of 53 cents, we're absolutely laughing. So as of now, we'll just refresh this. There you go. We're sitting at a little bit more profit. I actually ended up taking out around $51,000 in the end, so I'm absolutely loving that. I've got a nice amount of money on the side now. Again, it's all reflected here as well, and hopefully if I do sell the rest, we can finally get those fees down to 0.12, 0.22%. So for anyone that's asking, I am using Kraken for this. I know everyone's asking, they're not necessarily a broker, they're a platform, they're an exchange, but they do offer margin facilities as well. However, this is not margin, this was pure zero margin for this particular trade. So we've got $51,000 on the side there, we've got 103,356 XRP waiting, so we're just going to wait and see. If we go over to my platform now, you can see the sells, the final sell for around $9,000 was there as well. So just as an example now, with what I currently have aligned in fiat, in US dollars, sorry, if we saw XRP drop to 0.2 to around 0.6, which is what I think will happen, I'm looking at around 250,000 plus XRP. If we only see it go to around 0.26 on the worst end of the spectrum, then we are looking at around 200,000 XRP, which is still far better. Even if I do not sell the rest of my holdings, it would be great compared to what I actually have. Now remember, the fact of the matter is this is just a small buy. I'm not touching, just to clarify, my long-term holdings. They are not being touched. This is more for the fact that money has been made and you must express gratitude to the market and take some profits. There's no harm in doing so. Everyone wants to catch the big golden trade. However, sometimes it's wise to actually make them profits real. So I'll clarify that in the last video and I will clarify it again now. There is nothing wrong with taking profits. I had messages yesterday, people saying wrecked, but I don't know how I could be wrecked if I've got 100k just sitting there for the sake of it, just to mess around with. So yeah, people have different perspectives. I don't really understand what goes through many people's heads, but hey, that's life. So we're pushing up high now. XRP as well, hopefully with that push higher. Ether is going for it, but again, from weekly and monthly perspectives, guys, it's just all about patience. I mean, yeah, I'm just leaving that there. Even if you plot it up there, it goes to around $720. It doesn't really matter. I'm just looking at swings right now, but from a weekly perspective, that was one of the real last high swings. We've perfectly tapped that 61.8, so it shows me there could be some further signs to come. Link holding that Fibonacci very nicely now, so again, just a bit of more of a sign. We're just fishing around that area. XRP, we'll go to the 4 hour. We'll get rid of this channel quickly. Get rid of that trend line. Go to the daily. So again, the daily, you've got to think from a technical perspective as well. So from now, we've had a huge bullish rally, and then something has caused price to just massively halt at this area with a huge amount of indecision. So it's likely you're going to see a lot of wick activity around this area before a potential sell-off comes. So for me, ideally, I would like to see this area come through, or I'll sell probably 50% of the holdings just for the sake of it. If it pushes higher, then let it be. But this is all about showing you profit taking. So when you do see candles like this, they're normally followed by some indecision. And if I go back to the daily, when you see similar candles like this as well, again, this is the channel as well, by the way, guys, that we've broken out from. So just something to throw out there. We have now broken this major trend, but we haven't pierced the highs yet, and we haven't closed above this prior high. So we're still looking like we're progressively going lower. Just because we've broken out of this trend, the last high was over here, it doesn't necessarily mean we're bullish just yet. And I like to remain level-headed at all times. I do not care for anyone else's bias. I do not care what people think, what people say. I stick to my own bias, and that's what makes me me. If I was to just listen to everyone else, and just because people criticize me and say you're wrong, it doesn't mean I am wrong. It doesn't mean I'm right. It just means I'm not listening to their bias. And if you follow the majority, everyone's an expert in a bull market. But just because price is going up, it's easy for me to say, yes, we're going to 50 cents next. It's almost a given. So it takes no skill to really call upside movements. But anyway, just to understand, we've broken this trend. So at the bare minimum, we should be seeing a pullback eventually. I personally think, and I said this on Twitter yesterday, that if we do see BTC potentially go all the way down to like $8,000, $6,000, or we start seeing a total market reversal, we can easily expect this market reversal to continue until at least May, June 2021 before gearing up one last time. I believe if we do see a market correction now, this will be the final time before we absolutely blow through all-time highs. So I'm just remaining patient on this one. I do feel if we come back down and retest this trend line anywhere from 20 to potentially 15 cents, boom, we could absolutely rock it. So it's all about looking at it from a level-headed perspective and understanding from the higher time frames, the moves are suddenly not as strong as anticipated. This area, if we just get rid of this channel, this whole area here, this whole region, we can see historically has always dragged price down. We've had fake breakouts, but even when we break back below, we come back, retest, and boom. So I've marked out 53 cents because we saw a bit of activity there before as well, maybe a bit of a push higher. But going back to the daily, with that huge amount of indecision, what you normally see during these periods in time, when there's huge indecisive candles, as you can see, we wick out the area. So because we didn't just pop up again, we actually consolidated when we got to that prior candle over there. Let's just go some more examples. Here is an example: parabolic, parabolic, inconsistency, indecision, no one knows what's going on. Loads of wick activity around this area. So I'm in two minds. I could either sell a bit now and get a confirmation of a drop to then confirm this and then buy again on the retest. That would just be a simple Fibonacci retracement, 78.6. So I can do that as well. There is absolutely no rush. There's nothing wrong with still leaving a bit there anyway, because at the end of the day, we're 100k plus now. This is fun money. This is just purely to, you know, just do what you want with. So going back to XRP as an example, when you do see those kind of moves, indecision, granted, sometimes they can drastically go against you, but then come back down anyway. So imagine even if you did, let's just use this as a good example. Imagine you bought here and you sold there when you saw a bit of indecision. Granted, it would have gone up against you, but then you would have gone down 50%. So you would have lost 50% of your value from holding. So it actually would have made more sense to potentially take some profit there and then buy back in when it dropped to 30 cents. So hopefully you can see where I'm coming from. Again, the long-term portfolio, the long-term holdings do not necessarily get touched in these moments, and that's something that needs to be clarified. But for me, man, I don't know about this yet. I don't know about anything yet. I don't feel comfortable. This is holding that fib. Maybe it will just dump, and I'm happy for that to happen. In a way, I would almost rather it just dumps now, confirms a new low, and then I can then catch the Fibonacci retracement instead. It's all about patience. If we see a spike there, 25-50% we can take out. Goodness me, if it pushes up again, take out a bit more. It's no problem at all. So let's just have a look at this as an example. So let's just say we end up spiking to here and we plot a fib, just random fib. Let's just say it breaks. Once we start piercing below this level, because when you go to the 1 hour, you can see how this has become a support floor now. So let's just say as an example, we spike up here. Let's just try and draw some trend lines to see if we can get some stuff going on. So actually, we'll go back to the channel I drew. So we've got a channel here. There's multiple ways to draw this. Again, you'll be seeing this in a future lesson. But we've got a nice cross point there from what I'm looking at, around 50.5 cents, 52, whatever it is. So we could potentially tap that region and pull back. So we're going to wait and see if that comes through. That's why I'm giving you a bit of an introduction, just to see, because I do think that should come through relatively easily. And going back there, go to the daily, it looks pretty good to me. It really depends. If the daily closes above this wick, then fair enough. I'll probably, you know, consider just leaving the rest and letting it ride. But for now, there is no real confirmation for me yet. And this is where patience comes into play, especially a week before a monthly candle closure. You must be patient. So let's just draw another channel, see if we can figure out any other channels that may potentially influence this from the new potential swing. Could it push a bit higher? Yeah, potentially in that region, but anywhere from that 50.5 cents region up to around 53 cents, it looks to be a nice sweet spot. So what I would do in that instance is just plot the zone within this region here. Multiple channels, everything pretty much aligns with that level. We'll get rid of that, we'll leave that there. Obviously, if that starts breaking through on the 1 hour, not even the 1 hour, it's not that important, but it's more 4 hours. So the daily here, again, just we've broken through, we've come back down. We're just testing this area now because price has failed. If you go to the 4 hour, it has continuously failed to break through. And can you see this trend line here? This is that weekly trend line that I've drawn from here. So obviously, if you flipped the chart upside down, bang, bang, perfectly held below that level. So again, all-time highs are there. Last time we were at these prices, at these levels, was December. We are approaching December. And what happened in December? CME futures came about. We then went to $3,000. So it doesn't mean we'll go to $3,000 again, but, you know, just a bit of common sense. It's always good to consider these scenarios, and that's why I'm sticking to this bias, because anything can change in any given moment. BTC starts snapping lower, everything changes in a heartbeat, and right now we're failing to really maintain this level. So Hopefully, if there even is a spike to the upside, it may be temporary, and it could potentially just be a quick wick that comes down and then closes again on the 4 hour, just to fish out anyone that may be shorting already. Flipping that over just to avoid any confusion. Anyone that shorts from here may just spike them out, maybe give them hope that 20,000 is coming, and then bang. But also psychologically, this is something important to note as well. Psychologically, think about how many people, so again, it's pushing higher, but what's the channel I've got drawn on this as well? So yeah, the channel I drew here, as you can see, perfect, maintained it yesterday. I thought this was going to break out. The daily ended up closing back below. So maybe this daily will do the same as well, just to give us a bit more confirmation. But when you think about this psychologically, anyone, let's just refresh this so it doesn't expire. Okay, almost 102k. Anyone that bought BTC at these levels, psychologically, they must be very scared. They say a lot of people say no one's really still holding at these levels, but you would be surprised. People have been waiting almost 3 years to come back to a point of break even. This is a major psychological level which likely will not be broken with ease. It's not going to be a smooth ride, I believe. We've come back up to this level now, so it's going to hold as resistance potentially, drag us all the way down. Whether that does go to 6k, whether it goes to 7 to 8k, I still think this area is on the cards and I'm going to stick to it. And I feel once this comes back down, we can draw a trend line from here as well. You can see how no matter how you draw this, there is a potential pullback to come through. We haven't necessarily actually retested that trend line yet. If you draw that more accurately, you've got two different setups you can do here. You can either draw it from there to show there has been a retest, or you can push it a little bit higher to the most recent price action and see we've broken out of a major trend line, but we haven't come back down to retest it yet. Which means when this happens, again March, April, May, June, it could be anywhere around this region. And then boom, this is a crucial level of support, $6,000. Another crucial level, $7,000. And literally another crucial level, $8,000. So we have 3 zones that we have not really come back to retest since breaking higher. When this started breaking through, went down to $3,000. When this broke out to $14,000, we came back down to $4,000. So now we've broken, we must inevitably come back down. We went from 3,000 to pretty much 4,000. For all we know, we may come back to 5,000, 6,000 and then continue. If we draw another trend line, we could potentially be there in September. You don't know. There's so many crazy things this market could do, but I don't think that will happen. I think it's more like this. So potentially anywhere within this sweet spot by again May, June, who knows? But it could potentially pull back and then come all the way back down to this region before elevating to the upside. So we're just going to monitor this. I just thought I'd give you the full perspective so you can understand what's going on. But again, this is pushing higher, but it's still abiding by the technical principles. It's still falling in line with everything that's been covered. So we'll just wait a bit more and see what happens. But I'm in no rush now to sell. I'm in profit still. I'm happy. It's a good amount of money just to have on the side. It's literally, it was just from one purchase in March. It's sitting there. I can do what I want with it. And at the end of the day, the profit is real. So if you think psychologically, I know my chart is messy, but again, I'm just giving you everything, all these different factors that are coming into play. I'm trying to show you exactly what I mean. Because if I drew this potentially as a channel, let's see if that would work. We'll get rid of this fib for now, because maybe that'll come back in the future. Let's get rid of this as well. Let's just have a little look. So we'll draw multiple channels just to see off the bat if we've got any correlations here. I doubt we will, but no. So we did have that correlation. We pierced through, we broke above, we came to the next level. So it wasn't abiding by many rules. And if we add one more here, let's just see if that will correlate with absolutely anything. Again, it correlated with that level, but it broke through. So we have broken out of that major channel. And maybe that does just mean a simple 16k pullback will be all, and then it blows through the roof. But I'm not too keen on that. I'm looking more at the fact, if we now go like this to the top with a Fibonacci, what do we have here? We have $9,600, which is the CME futures gap right there. Hasn't been fulfilled. People say it can't come back down. Of course it can. And then we have $7,000 at the 78.6. So given during these moments, if we were to come back down to these levels, it's pretty easy to predict that we could easily spike down to this region as well. So when you see it from this long-term perspective, everyone's looking like this. Oh my God, it's going up, 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 up. It's never going to stop. This is all people are seeing. Just zoom out and have a look with a bit more of a logical mindset. You can understand very easily. If I flip this upside down now, we've come back to a cross point where we've got a major trend line, major level of resistance, obviously support on the inverse, but you get what I'm saying. There is so much here that is happening that is saying it may not go further yet. We've come back to test this level. People will be so scared right now. They've waited 3 years to break even. They just want to get out. Some of these people, they've psychologically been abused. They've entered the market in 2017 December. It was pumping. They were expecting 100k next, listening to all these articles. And what's happened here? They got wrecked. So it's almost a given that you'll get your hopes up. We're seeing all the articles coming out again, bullish, 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 100k, 100k. But you have to think, when have you ever watched a Bloomberg, or when have you ever read a news article and it's told you something's going to happen in the market and you've actually managed to successfully catch it? Once the news articles have come out, the moves have already happened. They are delayed, and plus that it is not in their best interest to give you advice that will benefit you financially. It is to destroy you financially so they can benefit from it financially. That's just the common fundamentals and basic workings and infrastructures of the financial markets. The people that are feeding you the information, the same as when it comes to the education system, the same way it comes to society, the same way you're not taught enough in school to actually help you with the real world. Everything you are told and educated is not designed to aid you. So you have to think outside the box and understand that it's more likely the information you're being fed is false to benefit somebody else's pockets. They are not doing this to benefit you. They do not care about us. They do not care about you. The market does not care about your feelings or your emotions. So you must look at it with a very unbiased view. So that is pretty much why I'm looking at what I'm looking at right now. Now let's just see if this can come through. Again, I know the last video was very long, but judging from the feedback, you guys have loved it. You've loved the transparency. So again, I'm just running you through the whole process live in action. Granted, as well, just to be honest, it doesn't take a genius to do this. I'm actually, what I was said on Twitter as well is, do not be impressed by the money. The money doesn't matter. It's meaningless. It's a number. It's a digit. Money is fake. It's just a number on a screen. You know, it's nothing too significant. What you should be paying more attention to is the fact that I said buy XRP on the 23rd of March this year, and then it never went down below that price ever again. So that is why there is a reason to take profit. Now everyone's saying buy, and then that is why I now consider selling, because when the herd and so-called professionals and experts and crypto Twitter start saying buy, we're breaking highs, they were not telling you to do this at 16 cents, but I was telling you to do this. So I'm willing to take some profit now, and there's no harm in doing so, and that's what needs to be understood here. It's not about the money, it's about the fact I bought at that price. That's more powerful than any financial number. This could be 100 million, it doesn't matter. It doesn't take a genius, and I'll be honest, to just buy and then take profit later. However, it's the execution that matters the most, and it was the execution that paid off. Another reason why I've been hedging shorts. People thought I was just mindlessly going crazy just trying to short the top of the market, but no. I normally do this, and every time I catch a major market reversal, I have a feeling, potentially way too ahead in advance, that it's going to happen. So from the moment I feel the market is going to weaken, I take my bets and I start entering shorts. I'm pretty sure I started entering short from around 15.5, 16,000. I had longs riding up from around $7,000, $8,000, rode that all the way up to 12k, and then I started taking profit. And then I've just been riding the wave up. And again, as you can see from this, the shorts do not matter. The shorts are hedges against the longs. The longs are hedges against the short. And there'll be lessons on hedging in the future. So when many people would say, oh my God, you've lost BTC, what a terrible performance, you're doing so bad. Well, no, because I only lost a few grand on BTC shorts, but I've got 100k here. So when you weigh out the risk to reward, who really cares? And plus, you do not need to explain yourself to everyone. You do not need to answer to people who are not doing what you do. You do what you feel is best in the market. Because I'm a bit more public and everything I do, I'm doing to give back to the people. I have to accept that when you're in the public eye, you will face scrutiny for doing certain things, but it really doesn't affect me. It doesn't matter. but it's just more because of what I do, and because I am public, I have to accept that people will be very opinionated. People will disagree, they will agree, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to wait for this now. Again, this area, this is what we want to monitor for. So if we go back to the daily, we don't really want daily candles closing above this wick. We want loads of wicks potentially coming through this area. But if daily candles remain below pretty much that 0.49580 handle, we're in pretty good hands, to be honest with you. I don't care about 4 hours too much. 4 hours can close up here, spike and then dump back down. None of that really matters too much. So we're just going to sit, give it another few minutes, and again, if not, I will stop this recording and then get straight back to it if we see another push higher. If we go over to Kraken, lovely jubbly, we are almost there. Let's correlate this with our zone. So that is around 0.50283. So yeah, pull back. What could be happening now as well? Again, just thinking of every scenario, the trend line has been broken. So we could be seeing a potential come back down to this region, test the trend line. No matter how it's broken, maybe it will just come back down and test this level here and then ping off higher. But we just want to pay a bit of attention to anywhere around these regions, pull back and then potentially ping up. So remember, the longer it takes to come back up, the more likely it is to go higher to then retest that trend line. So if it fell short now, came back, consolidated and blew up, we would be able to anticipate this level clearly. Because there's a upper resistance of the channel here correlating with our level, I'd be more likely to take a bit of profit here. But if it comes back up to this level, knowing there's not a trend line until up to this level, I will take more profit up here because it has a stronger confluence. Whereas if it doesn't happen during a certain time period, you quickly sit back, you reevaluate and you wait for the next move to come through. So 4 hour perspective as well, not too bad. Going back down to here, if we just plot a fib, maybe from here to here as well, draw that back down to where it was over there, confluence with the 61.8, and then look at that, it lines up with 51 and around 53 cents. So that could be the main move coming through. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure from how I drew this, was it here? Draw that from there, push that back down. We do have some, yeah, there's fib correlations there as well. So we've got an A, we've got a B, we've got a C, held the channel as well. So all of this in between could just be noise to potentially come back up and fulfill these final Fibonacci targets, which may end up being a trap. Going back to BTC, still holding that 78.6% fib. So we need to be patient, because if it dumps, I'm going to be a very happy man. I've still got shorts running, I've got very wide stop losses, but I do not care. And again, this is why I will short until I'm done shorting. I do not need people to tell me when to stop shorting, because the longs do the work for me. And that is a simple basic principle of hedging. So we're going to sit back and wait. It doesn't look like this is going to do anything just yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this all here. You've got all the analysis. Again, this is all live. This is all real. We are moving in real time. If I go to market sell, 100%, you can see the balance of XRP there, reflects the balance of XRP there. I can easily just review and sell. I'm not going to do that, but yeah, pushing higher, waiting. Let's just see what happens, and then I'll quickly jump on and record once again, hitting our levels as well, by the way. I will record once again once we see a bit of an update and price hopefully enter this region to sell off and have a nice 100k in the bank secured, ready to either spend for a lovely Christmas, to reinvest or do whatever with. But the goal here is to hopefully reinvest this back at a much lower price, potentially a much larger than 50% correction, to hopefully try and achieve around 400,000 plus XRP. I had 219,000 XRP in total, but if we can get this up to 400,000 from a single trade, and I'm not going to short, I'm going to leave it on the sidelines. I could easily short, but then why take that risk? That's what the margin trades are for. The portfolio grows in the background, the investments in other trades, non-margin, grow in the background, and then the margin and leverage trades, the shorts and the intraday longs going in between, they are just there as additional opportunities and ways to hedge and make more money. So I will catch up with you guys in the next segment of this video, where hopefully we have ourselves another nice selling opportunity. Okay guys, so I've quickly just slapped on the record once again as we are pushing higher. We are now approaching that lovely region that was anticipated of around 50 cents. We're pretty much there now. I'm talking very quickly. $102,605. We are pushing closer, having a look at this level now. So we're going to market sell 25%, which is around 25,000 XRP. So we're just waiting. review and sell, confirm, hopefully see a little bit of a push higher. Check with the charts over there. We want to see that little bit of a push higher ideally, just to be safe. We want to see 50 cents come in as it is doing so now, and we're just going to press confirm sell. Waiting for that to trigger. There we go. The order has now been filled at pretty much 50 cents. So we're just going to monitor this now, because obviously if we do see a bit of a push higher up towards this region here, then by all means necessary we can take a little bit more profit maybe. So we'll go back to here. We've now got, quickly refresh this, $63,781 there. We've come to this region. BTC still not doing too much. Link still fluctuating. Ether's looking one of the strongest actually right now, but we're just going to wait. We're just going to be patient. Just going to see how this area reacts. We may just see an instant pull down and then we'll get out a bit more, but it's always good to, again, just take some profit and be safe. So we're still sitting with 77,517 XRP. Got another nice little sell there. Again, it's pushed up a bit higher, but that was expected around that region. So took a bit of a while to fill, obviously due to a lack of orders in the book to trigger, but it's tapped precisely on my level now that I was monitoring. Going over to the 15-minute chart, precisely tapped. I mean tapped. I get a bit funny when these kind of numbers are on the table. Yeah, so we've just tapped that level. It's not a problem. It's a bit lower, but we're just going to wait and see. May see some fishing above. I'm still pretty confident on 53 cents coming through, by the way. So I'm just going to be a bit patient and see what happens from there. Another push higher. Maybe we can sell a bit more. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it reacts. So looking at the price correspondence, it's actually a little bit higher on here, which is always better. So we're pushing through. Come to that region now. That correlates with a nice little zone there. So what we might do now, we've got 77,000. We're pushing up. Let's get ready. So I've just missed that. A bit unfortunate, but we can just wait and see what happens. The zone's been tapped. It's pulling back lower. 503 coming back down to the zone. So we're just going to wait and see. Have a little monitor, see how it's behaving. Very precise. Strike on the target there, so that's always a good sign. Again, it could still push higher. There's 5 minutes left till the closure, and it's already coming back down. So we're going to leave that there for now. We're not in too much of a rush, really. Doesn't need to happen immediately. And again, when it's going spiky like this for a zone, it normally shows the validity of the level. So even if I press market sell here, and it quickly goes back down, it's probably going to trigger me here anyway, so there's no point being greedy. That is $13,000 there, 25%. Still not much from BTC, which is very surprising. But again, it's another psychological resistance level, so we're just going to monitor and see how this level holds up. And maybe in the worst case scenario, just leave 50,000 XRP running. Again, just taking it as it comes. The channel's been hit again. We have broken through, so if we plot that there, we didn't even retest, we've just come back up. So we're just going to monitor. We've got 5 minutes on that candle closure as well, on the 1 hour, which is of course a bit more significant than the other time frames. 4 hours important as well, but we've still got 3 hours left on that. So again, depending on this 4 hour as well, we'll just wait and see what happens. Ideally now it just starts pushing up really, but it's always good to just get a little sell out the way and just slowly drip feed. And as you can see as well, I've been scaling in the profit taking. So if we go over here, it's now broken. Let's go back to the 1 hour. So we've got some sells there, we've got another sell there. So again, eventually the sells are just getting higher and higher and higher. So I'm profit taking progressively. Let's monitor this. 30 minute, 15 minute, or 1 minute. I love the 1 minute chart. It's always exciting. So let's just stay patient. Imagine it just goes up here and then the 4 hour comes all the way back down. That would be lovely. So we'll just wait. See how this reacts. Again, you can always just play around and extend the channel as well, but you don't want to be doing too much. You can see if it reacts to that level, it technically does as well. So again, what do we do here? $5,000 worth. Let's have a look. It is another level, technically. Could do that, but we'll just wait for a bit. There's no rush. So what we'll do maybe in that instance is 0.51. we will say 10,000 XRP, 0.51, and see if it triggers. We'll just set a limit. Makes life a bit easier instead of trying to catch it. If you set a limit in the market, we'll see. So it's pushing up just below. How exciting. Let's have a look. 10,000 XRP, 0.51. Just a little push a little higher, a bit of a liquidity push would ideal. So as we can see there, we're just below on this chart, and we're just below on this chart. So there's a bit of a price difference. It is higher, which I guess is good. So hopefully this can get triggered. But when it comes to normal trade processes, there we go. The order was triggered. We got 4,000, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 3, 2, 1. So leave that there for now. Nothing to worry about. Maybe it'll push up to this region now, and we can start considering a bit more profit taking. But yeah, from a 4-hour perspective, it's looking all gravy. So we're just going to wait and see. I do feel like this is that little push higher that we was expecting. Let's have a look here now. That's all updated. 103,000, still going up in profits. Now I've got almost $70,000 at my disposal. I've got 7,500 XRP left. Absolutely flying. You know what I mean? It's a win-win situation. That's a nice little sell as well there. Depending on what happens next, let's go to the 15-minute, 30-minute. BTC again, just showing that rocket ship movement. I've got all the trend lines that I showed you from the prior segment as well. Let's see how this is behaving. Very nice. So yeah, if I just go back to the weekly quickly, just ignore all the other stuff, we can easily expect this to come up to here, maybe a bit higher. But overall, we are hoping to see a nice weekly wick, maybe just fishing out this area, and hopefully a monthly candle closure way back below as well, which would be ideal. So we're just going to take it as it comes. Got 1 minute and 30 seconds left on this candle closure. Looking good, looking good. So again, I'm not really going to do too much TA on this. It's always better to just stick to TradingView. Just makes life a bit better. But as you can see, if you draw the trend line from there, it's technically come back and retested that trend line as well. Now there's so many different trend lines on these charts right now. It's a bit messy. Nothing's really precise. That's why I'm having to draw so many, because there's just so many different levels this thing's reacting from. But as you can see from the Bitfinex chart as well, we've got a precisely 51 cents tap there, which is splendid from this side at the moment. Now we have got 67,500 XRP to go. So ideally we want to have a balance of around 100,000 taken out. Again, as I said in the last video as well, it's a nice clean number. Could take a bit more, but let's just wait. Let's just wait. Maybe another 10,000 in a bit. We'll see. But that was a very sharp spike. That's nice. So I want to see how this 1 hour closes. If it closes above this level, then I can anticipate a potential push up to this region. But as you can see, the channel, again, how I mentioned with the confluences, you know, when it comes to having a resistance or support level in correspondence with many other factors, such as the channel that I've drawn here. Of course, the first level was here, just to correspond with the body and the wick there, but just dragging it higher. I mean, look, if you start going over here, you can see that it may just push higher now anyway. So even if we draw that there, maybe it will just go to wick up here and then close back below here as well. So we're just going to wait and see. Just slowly, slowly, slowly take some profits out of the market. BTC still not breaking that 4 hour, which is a very strange thing for me. Very strange. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe it won't go higher and XRP is just fishing a bit more. Maybe it will go to $1. Who knows? But we'll just wait. Back at that level. 15 minutes. Seems to be a solid level at the moment. Maybe it will maintain. Who knows? So if we drag that back down, just to show you how it's reacting to the level so far. Let's see what happens. Do we just sell another 10k? Maybe we do. So that'll be another $5,000. Again, with these things, let's see. So 3 hours left, looking pretty good. Let's sell another 10,000 XRP. Triggered. orders filled. Very nice. So now we'll just leave that. Go to the 1 hour. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see how I'm just slowly but surely liquidating that position. Slowly but surely. Let's refresh just to double check everything is going well. So yeah, we've got $74,000 pretty much there now. 57,000 XRP. $103,000 balance. We're just going to leave it, push higher, let it do so. We'll check the intradays as well. Doesn't look like it is going to slow down, to be fair, right now, but we'll just wait and see. The 1 minute isn't really anything you want to go off to dictate a bias. So yeah, we're going to leave that. It's triggered it. Again, many people that wouldn't have channels set up and many other various things, it may just be thinking bullish, 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 but you know, it's all about profit taking in this market. So we'll go to the daily. Nice. I do just think the daily, by the end of the day, hopefully we can come up to 53 cents. Even if it happens now, that'll be sweet. And we can just start taking some profit, hopefully around this region. Then I'm just going to sit back for a bit. It's a nice point for if we do have a potential 50% market correction. We've seen wicks come all the way up to these levels before as well. So I really don't care. Even 60 cents, if that just came through quickly, that would be nice. Let's compare this to BTC once more, using multiple confluences. Ether is moving higher. That could potentially just blow through the roof, to be fair. But let's leave that for now. Link, very surprised. I'm still pretty much sticking to the bias that Link can come back down to like $8, potentially even lower, especially if there is a market correction. So yeah, pushing through. But BTC, 4 hour. Daily, sorry. 4 hour there, same as that. Let's go to the 1 hour. That should start coming through soon, hopefully, as well. So we'll leave the daily there, because you can see where the wicks are just congested around that region. It's holding up very nicely. And this may hopefully now come through. Maybe we'll sell 25% here. We'll see how it reacts. 0.5. 0.528. Let's see how it is looking here. It's still holding 0.528. Yeah, so what we'll do is, for now, 25% is 14,000. We'll just, yeah, why not? 0.52, let's do 0.52950. We'll get as close as possible. If we remove the 5, oh, that is painful. It's another potential $6, $7 on the cards there. So for the sake of that much money, I'm just going to leave it at 0.529. I will confirm a limit sell once again, which is now in place just there. And we'll leave that there. So that's around, what, 25%. Let's see if that's now reflected here. So it's pushing up. So overall, we want that sweet spot of around the 100k plus. Fees would be nice to get those a bit lower, wouldn't it? So let's just wait. I'll probably stop the video until we see something go on now, because I can't really be bothered to just stare at the charts. I've got some videos that I'm making for you guys at the moment as well. Again, it's broken that trend line now as well. So intraday perspective could potentially break higher. So yeah, we'll just sit back and wait. Nice, push higher. Again, if it does, considering where this is now in comparison to where it just was, and then we look at this potential region here, it does correspond quite nicely with BTC potentially pushing up into that 9.2 to 9.5 region as well. So we'll wait and see what happens. It'll be interesting to see, obviously, if it does tap this trend line that it's now broken, come back up, and then bang. Ping, 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 ping. So 30-minute there, it should tap 53. So we're just going to leave that for now. You've got this set up, and then pushing back down. Nice. I'm just going to wait now, guys. You've got that there, just so you can see everything. We'll go to orders, sell limit 529, 14,000 untouched. That'll give us a nice $7,600. Just refresh this one more time. Cool. So we've got almost $74,000, 57,000 XRP. Boom. All right, cool. So I'll update you guys again in the next segment of the video, and let's see if we can get some more profits secured in the bag. Okay guys, looks like this video is going to end up being broken into many different segments. So just an update, I added another sell limit at 0.539 for 10,000 and for 14,000. So as you can see, I sold a bit more as well. In the meantime, before I could get back to recording, I just had to quickly go bang, bang, bang. So is that done? Yes, it is. So we've got $102,800 now. I've almost closed out $79,000 now. We've got 47,500 XRP remaining. So if we have a look at what's going on, many different channels have been plotted, again, just being versatile, adapting with the market. We've spiked into that area that I've been anticipating. So going back, if we go to the 1 minute as an example, you can see now we've got 4 sales pretty nicely aligned within this region. So I'm pretty happy for the time being anyway. If we go to the 30 minute, we can see there was a major, maybe BTC, to be honest, the more I'm monitoring this now, may not even push up. Maybe it will just maintain this level, because it kind of tapped this level again and just sank. So clearly there is heavy resistance around this region. The CME futures chart isn't doing too much either. It is looking like a potential turnaround. Again, not that this chart is anything to really go by, but that kind of speaks for itself. We've got a double top as well at $19,000. This is holding, this is holding. So ideally, got 2 sales left there. I probably will just liquidate the rest if we see a spike up there anyway. So those are 2 25% sales. So in total around 25,000 XRP. But then that would still leave us with almost another remaining 50% of that balance there. So we're just going to wait and see. I'm pretty happy with the sales I've got in the market now, judging from this price action. Again, judging from the daily wicks as well. If this daily closes back below 47 cents, wow, it could get very, very good. So we're just going to wait and see now to see what's going on. But again, I just wanted to keep you guys updated every step of the way. CME futures, nice. Let's hope that continues down. Yeah, let's see, 30 minutes, we've got 2 minutes left. We'll wait and see how that closes as well. I know I've got so much on the charts, but again, I'm just showing you loads of things here, and quite clearly, trend line broken, potential retest over there as well. So we're just going to monitor and see how this level goes. We've come halfway through our area of significant liquidity. 4 hour, still 2 hours and 30 minutes left on that. 1 hour looks pretty decent as well. So we're just going to monitor, have a little look. Maybe one more few hours, maybe by the end of the day, come and tap this region as well and come back down. But yeah, I am liking the look of this. So plenty of levels there to correspond and aid the bias. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So I just wanted to update you quickly on what's going on, because again, just to show you for the purposes of buying, if I was to buy at 0.2 now, it's almost 400,000 XRP. So that's how I'm trying to look at everything. It's like in the worst case scenario, well, technically the best case scenario, the market does dump. That alone, from what I've now taken out, would pretty much double my holdings that I initially invested, and I still have around 50,000 XRP on the sidelines left as well. So the levels have been respected with the utmost respect. BTC, I mean, that daily there alongside the trend line from the weekly that I showed you earlier, you see that now we've come back and tapped it again as well. May take a few weeks to potentially dump, but judging from the CME gap as well, 1 hour, lovely stuff. Daily, nice. Yeah, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. So I'm going to wait and see now what happens. Come back down below. Maybe it will dump, and in the worst case scenario, I will just leave that there and just have almost triple the investment that I initially put in on the sidelines anyway, ready to go. So it's looking pretty good. 1 hour. Let's wait for this to close. Glorious 50 seconds. This is the exciting part, when you kind of get that push higher, potentially wipe out all the people that entered there as well. So it's going to be interesting to see. Again, I say this, but you never know what happens in the markets. It may just go to like $3 and wipe me out, but this is part of the game. This is part of it. So nice trend line, 5 minute closure, 30 seconds, nice. So we'll just wait and see. Maybe now it will come back down. If we draw this trend line here, that would correspond with this level of the channel, and then ping, maybe come back up one more time. That's why I've also put the sell limit there at 0.539, just in case it goes to 0.54. Obviously, if we do see more bearish confirmation as well, then it's more likely any upside movement will be relatively sharp and quick, and liquidity wise it may not get triggered. So it's always good to leave a little bit of breathing space just below, maybe even 0.538 or something. It doesn't matter too much, but yeah, that is now closed, pretty solid. We're just going to wait and see. Again, please ignore the mess of the charts. This is purely for my sake of profit taking and stuff. So I'm going to close this video now, wait and see what the market does next, and hopefully when I'm back we should have the majority of the position out the market and hopefully start seeing a bit of a turnaround as well. So just for quick viewing, just forgetting everything that's just happened, bearing in mind that fib as well, we have just fulfilled the extension, the target, the A, B, C, D, potential D up there as well. BTC, look at that. Yes, very interesting stuff. 4 hour from this perspective as well. I mean, let's just have a look, plot this very quickly. Hasn't come through there yet, which is fascinating. However, if we draw it this way maybe, yes. So wick, push that down a bit more, broken through, retested, 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 78.6 in correspondence with that. So not only have we got a trend line, we've got the 78.6 corresponding there as well. We're now back below 50 cents. So we're just going to leave this and update you again in the next segment. Hello everyone. So this is the final segment of the video. So as you can see, we did see a little bit of a push higher, even a bit more than expected actually. And you can see the channel has been updated and adjusted to reflect that. So I personally do not care what happens from this point onwards. I'm looking at everything else. I mean, BTC still looking pretty bearish. We saw a nice rejection again of the 78.6 fib, very bearish 4 hour candle closure as well. Link, just plotted a little trend line there, it's also been respecting nicely. Ether, the only one that's a bit higher, but overall I'm satisfied, I'm expressing gratitude, and profit has been taken. So if we go here now, we can see I've made it nice and round. We've gone to exactly $100,000 and $89 left over on the side as well, and we've still got around 7,477 XRP. Ripple, $4,000 worth pretty much. So that is pretty much it. Just summarizing, you've seen the profit taking strategy as well, how just slowly over time I've just been increasing. Let's go to the 1 hour, you'll see that a bit more clearly. So yeah, you can see loads of small gradual sells coming in, just taking profit bit by bit by bit. So in the grand scheme of things, from a weekly perspective, if this obviously does just start pulling back down now, then we've got some sells from the top of the first weekly candle, and then we'll potentially have some sells from the very top of the second weekly candle. So it doesn't really matter what happens from here, to be honest with you. We're happy, profit has been taken. I did promise I'd show you guys the full journey of this particular trade. That was given from, let's go to the weekly, that was given from 16 cents here. So when you look at it this way, ignoring the obviously the stop loss and all that stuff, as it wasn't a leveraged position, we've potentially captured a move for what we haven't potentially, we have captured a move, just ignore the stop loss, from there to there. And from a weekly perspective, you can see the beauty of that trade entry there. Taking profit here, I honestly do not care what happens now. I'm happy with the outcome. I think the market is still going to turn around personally. I've still got shorts running on BTC, hedged in all over the place as well, but this is again an example. I will continue taking shorts because the longs will always outweigh it. If not, the longs will be in a loss. The shorts will then outweigh it as well. But it's all about risk to reward, and there's plenty more of that to come. Where this video came from, so I just want to end it on this very bright positive note. Could go up a bit more, could go down, doesn't really matter. I really couldn't care less. So I'm happy with the outcome. We've hit all the targets that I was happy to take profit from. It is 100,000 there. There is no such thing as being a loser in the market by taking profits. So I wanted this to be a very eye-opening two-part video for all of you. I know this video has been broken down into specific segments, but the first video as well gave you a nice insight into what's going on. If I get rid of this, just get rid of this. Again, daily, we don't know how it's going to potentially close. From a weekly perspective, we've seen it happen many times before where it does fail to breach higher. So even if like next week it just does something stupid and goes up here and then comes back down, it's still a win-win situation anyway. So at the end of the day, there's 100 grand there to either spend, to either wait for a potential pullback to reinvest and potentially double the holdings or even more, or we find another opportunity. There's plenty of altcoins, there's BTC, there's all kinds of different opportunities. The fact of the matter is, profit has been taken from the market. I do not care if it goes higher, I do not care if it goes lower. This is what I was doing for this particular buy-in at 16 cents, so the outcome's great. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Just to update, it's still there. We'll just refresh that as well. Brilliant outcome. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. What a beautiful way to start on Monday. I'm very excited to see what the week ahead brings us as well. So guys, take care, and we'll see you in the next video, which will very likely be one of the free Forex or crypto course lessons, or maybe an animation video as well. So have a good day guys, and take care.